Burundi has rejected the deployment of 228 UN police officers. The government says the resolution authorizing the force was done without its consultation. The UN Security Council's decision was part of international efforts to end the year-long unrest in the East African nation that has claimed more than 400 lives. Let's get more on that story, and Lorna Shaddick is joining me from New York. Lorna, Burundi says it had not consented to a UN police force to be deployed in its territory. Does the country have sufficient grounds to reject the UN resolution?
Well, the UN certainly says that there is a very difficult situation right now in the country. Of course, over 250,000 people have been fleeing the violence. Over 450 have been killed since the latest violence began. And indeed, as far as the UN is concerned, its latest human rights report from the High Commissioner for Human Rights also expressed concern about the situation there, in particular when it came to arbitrary arrests and detentions and an increase in cases of torture. So as far as the UN is concerned, the sending of peacekeepers and its intervention in the country is justified. It argues there is grounds for peacekeepers, and it says that these peacekeepers would be in support of human rights personnel in particular. But Burundi's rejection of these peacekeepers is not surprising. It had signalled it for a long time, and indeed not without precedent, because of course back in December the African Union attempted to send 5,000 peacekeeping personnel to Burundi, and that was flat out rejected by the Burundian government at the time. They said they wouldn't allow what they called foreign troops to enter their borders, and they said they didn't need a peacekeeping force. Burundi itself was in control of the situation. Eventually they agreed on deploying 200 African Union personnel, but only 50 of those have been deployed so far. A government spokesman has said that they remain welcome, but has stressed that Burundi does not need UN personnel to be sent there.
Well, Lorna, can the UN, though, forcefully implement its decision to deploy its police force to Burundi?
Well, essentially, no, it can't. That is against UN rules. The UN would need approval from Burundi's government to send any kind of peacekeeping personnel, because every resolution to send peacekeepers to a member state has to be approved by that member state. And indeed, that is something that Burundi has reminded the Security Council since that resolution was passed on Friday. Now, it also said it no more than 50 peacekeepers, but once the resolution was passed on Friday mandating 288 peacekeeping personnel, Burundi has now said it doesn't want to accept any, not even those 50 either. And it really comes down to an issue of sovereignty. Burundi is in control of its own borders, so short of parachuting UN troops in at night secretly, which of course would be entirely illegal in international law, there is nothing the UN can do except continue to pressure Burundi to change its mind and allow some kind of peacekeeping force to enter the country.
All right, Lorna Shaddick for us there in New York.